Literally this past week, I nearly doubled my productive output. Not by working more hours and not by hiring someone new, and certainly not by some productivity hack I found on TikTok. What I did though is I did it by building a system that uses AI in a fundamentally different way than what most entrepreneurs are doing right now. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what it is, how it works, and give you a 5-step framework that you can use to build the same thing for your business. This is going to change how you think about AI as an entrepreneur. All right, you ready? Let's get into it. Let me paint a picture that I think a lot of you will recognize. You've got ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI tool you're using, and it helps you. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. You can draft emails faster, you can brainstorm, you can get that rough first pass on a blog post or a social media caption. That's great, but here's what your day actually looks like with these tools. You open a chat, you explain who you are, you explain what your business does, you explain what tone you want, you give it context, you give it a response, and it's okay. It's not quite right, so you reprompt. Better, you copy it out, paste it somewhere, format it, then an hour later you need something else. New chat, re-explain everything once again. You see, every session starts from zero. The AI has no memory of your standards, your voice, your preferences, and you become like a quality control system. You're the one catching the inconsistencies, fixing the formatting, making sure the output matches what your brand actually sounds like. Now, multiply that across every task you touch in a day. Client deliverables, content, proposals, email reports, and the productivity gains, well, they start to shrink. You're getting maybe 20, 30% more done, and that's cool. Real gains, that's fantastic. But you're also spending a significant chunk of your time just managing the tool. I've been an entrepreneur long enough to know that when the tool is consuming as much energy as it's creating, something needs to change. And for me, this week, I got to tell you, it did. Let me introduce you to Claude Cowork if you haven't seen it yet. Cowork is a feature in the Claude desktop app from Anthropic. And the thing that makes it different from ChatGPT or Gemini, or for that matter, any other AI assistant I've used, comes down to one word: agentic. You may be going, okay, what does that really mean, Jonathan? It means Cowork doesn't just respond to you, it works for you. Here's the difference. With a normal AI tool, you type, it replies, you copy the reply somewhere. With Cowork, you point it to a folder on your computer, you give it a task, and it goes to work. It reads your files, it creates new ones, it produces actual deliverables. Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, formatted PDFs. It puts them right there in your folder. But you see, it even goes deeper than that. When you give Cowork a complex task, it doesn't just tackle it linearly. It breaks down the work into subtasks and coordinates them in parallel. That's what we mean when we talk agentic. So if I say take this brief and create a blog post and 3 social media posts and a video script, it's not doing them one at a time. It's working on them all simultaneously, maintaining consistency across every piece. You see, for entrepreneurs who are used to context switching between a dozen things before lunch, this is a completely different experience. You're not managing the AI, you're delegating to it, and the AI is delivering. It also works on long-running tasks without timing out. Anyone who's ever had ChatGPT lose a thread halfway through some majorly complex task or project, you know how painful that is. Cowork, it handles extended multi-step work without breaking. Doesn't even break a sweat. And it does all of this locally. So you see the files, they stay on your computer. The whole thing runs in a secure environment right on your PC or your Mac. Your data doesn't go anywhere you don't send it. Now, Cowork itself is incredibly impressive. But here's where it gets truly powerful for entrepreneurs like us. And this is the part that most people haven't figured out or discovered yet. It's custom skill files, or skill.md files. Let me explain what these are, because this is the single biggest productivity unlock I found in 2 years of using AI tools. A skill.md file is a plain text document written in Markdown, which is basically formatted text. That tells Claude exactly how to perform a specific type of tasks your way. It includes your standards, your brand voice, your formatting preferences, your quality benchmarks, step-by-step workflows, examples of what great output looks like. And here's the key. When you assign Cowork a task that matches a skill, it automatically loads those instructions and follows them. Not approximately, not pretty close. It follows them with a precision that, frankly, I haven't seen before with AI. Think of it this way. If Cowork is a highly capable employee, skills.md files are the training manual you wrote for them. But the cool thing is, the employee follows them. And this employee, Claude Cowork, they actually read the manual every single time without fail, without getting distracted and without cutting corners. Think about what this means for your business. Every entrepreneur I know has systems in their head, ways they want proposal structures, tone they want in client communication, standards for your content. And you, like me, spend an enormous amount of energy either doing everything ourselves, because of course nobody else does it right, or constantly re-explaining our standards when we want to delegate. Skills.md files, they externalize those systems. You write your standards down once, and from that point forward, every task Cowork handles adheres to them. Your proposal skill ensures every proposal follows your exact structure. Your content skill ensures that every post matches your voice. Your client communication skill ensures every email maintains the professionalism you've built your reputation on. You go from being the bottleneck in your own business to being the architect of systems that maintain your standards without you hovering over them. And that's what I realized this week. Major amplification of my time and my skills by using Claude Cowork and Skills. And you see, you don't need to be a developer either. If you can write clear instructions for a human assistant, you can write a skill.md file. It's really that accessible. And even better, if you're like me with ADHD and maybe you struggle to write those clear instructions, Claude can help you do it. And then it can create the skill.md file after you've approved it. It's amazing. The third piece of this system that's so incredible is scheduled tasks. And this is where it starts to feel, well, less like using a tool and more like building an operating system for you and for your business. Cowork lets you define a task once, write the instructions, set the schedule, and it executes automatically. Daily, weekdays, weekly, you name it, or just even on demand. Whatever cadence makes sense for the skill. Let me give you some practical examples. How about a daily morning briefing that summarizes your messages and priorities before you sit down? Maybe a weekly report compilation that pulls from your data and formats into a presentation. Maybe a recurring competitive research or automated content formatting. Once you set it up, your skills ensure quality every single time, and it just runs. There's an important nuance here. This only works while your computer is on and the Claude app is open. It's not running in the cloud somewhere. But for most entrepreneurs who are at their machine during work hours anyway, it's not a real limitation. The point is, you stop being the person who does every recurring task and you become the person who designed the system that handles them. So here's the framework. It's 5 steps. Here they are. You can start this today. First, step 1, audit your recurring work. Take a look at everything that you're doing, especially if you're doing it more than once. Things like proposals, content creation, reports, client communications, onboarding. If you do it regularly, or if a member of your team does, it's a candidate for a skill. Step 2, document your standards. You see, for every one of these recurring tasks, write down how you want it done. Or if you're doing it for a team member, how they do it, not in prompt language, but in plain human language, plain English. How should the output look? What tone do you want it to take? What are the non-negotiables? And what does excellence really look like? In step 3, we're going to build that skill.md file, or in our case, probably files. You're going to take those documented standards and you're going to format them. You're going to use something called a YAML header. Don't worry about that. We don't have to understand it, but that's where your name and your description lie. Then your instructions are going to be in what we call markdown language. Again, don't worry about the tech specifics. Just include examples of what success looks like. Great proposals, great social posts, memos, you name it. Give it good examples. Then step 4, schedule what you can. Which of those tasks happen on a predictable schedule? Set them up as recurring tasks in Cowork. Morning briefings, weekly reports, content passes, and let them run automatically. Step 5, we're going to iterate. Your first skills won't be perfect. It's like hiring a new employee on the first day. They're not perfect day 1, and that's okay. For your skills, you're going to run them. You're going to review the output, and then you're going to tighten things up, make them better. Within 2 or 3 rounds, you'll have the skills that produce work so close to your personal standard that the difference is almost negligible. In my case, most of the time, the difference is better, meaning these agents are producing better than what I'm doing. That's it. 5 steps, no coding required, and the compound effect over a week, a month, a quarter, it's substantial. So let's take a look at it again. What are the 5 steps? Step 1, audit your recurring work. Step 2, document your standards. Step 3, let's build those skill files. And step 4, schedule what we can. And then step 5, iterate. That's it. 5 steps. And it will make a world of difference to you. I want to close with this because it's the thing I care about most. Doubling your output doesn't matter if the output doesn't serve anyone. The reason this system excites me isn't just the efficiency metrics, it's what the efficiency creates space for. This week, I had more time for deep strategic thinking about my problems, about my clients' problems, about the things that we're doing. I actually had time to think about my business instead of just work in my business. I delivered more consistent work to my team and my customers because of the skills that held my standards even when I was running low on energy or was in a rush. I was more present, not only at work, but with my family. And I had the bandwidth to create content, just like this video, to share what I'm learning with you. That's the real promise. Not do more stuff, do more of what matters. Build the systems that handle the predictable work so you can pour yourself into the creative and the strategic. Think of the deeply human work that only you can do. The tools are here, they're here right now. The question is whether you'll invest the time to build the systems around them. I've linked the full written framework in the description. I've got a blog post with all 5 steps, all the details. If you try this, come back and tell me what you built. I'd love to hear it. And if this was valuable, please share it with a fellow entrepreneur who needs to hear it. We're all building in the same direction. I'll see you in the next one.